Phoenix.
In 2019, the JV Sports Show podcast began with the idea of spotlighting young people in our community. In time, that podcast evolved into radio, television, and live stream, and through that evolution, new ideas have enhanced delivery, giving a stage to students both in front of and behind the microphone in Arizona and beyond. Thank you for supporting the Varsity Sports Show, now the Varsity Media Foundation, a 501c3 educational organization.
This is Carefree, Arizona Mayor John Crane. You're listening to the Varsity Sports Show hosted by Carefree's favorite son, Vince DeLisio, who was just awarded Carefree's Man of the Year and given the key to the city. Oops, I just perjured myself.
The Angry Crab Shack in Tempe, with an experience so good it remains indescribable, with something for every seafood lover. Try one of their amazing custom seafood boils, sandwiches, appetizers, and salads. Angry Crab Shack Tempe is located east of I-10 on Warner Road, 480-674-3847. The Angry Crab Shack in Tempe. Come ready to eat.
AM 1060 KDUS Tempe Phoenix and KSLX HD2 Scottsdale Phoenix.
This program is made possible by Friends of the Varsity Media Foundation,
a 501c3 nonprofit educational organization.
You are listening
to the Varsity Sports Show.
You are listening to the Varsity Sports Show on AM 1060 KDUS Arizona.
On AM 1060 KDUS Arizona.
Still the home of youth, high school, college, and you in Arizona and beyond.
Welcome to the Varsity Sports Show. And now,
welcome to the Varsity Sports Show.
Welcome to the Varsity Sports Show.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Varsity Sports Show on AM 1060 KDUS Arizona. My name is Vince DeLisio, and as always, we are joined for another beautiful Saturday morning here in Phoenix. This morning, we are celebrating a special event. It's something that affects everyone. It's Earth Day, and we are actually doing a remote broadcast, as we've done the last few weeks. Today, we're in a very special place that serves the community. I'm joined by my co-hosts this morning, Hannah Pettiferi and Dominic Hernandez. Dom, Hannah, how are you guys doing?
I'm doing great today, Vince. It's getting a little hot here, but it's a great day today.
Did you bring your sunscreen?
No, but
okay.
But I'm hoping I don't get too hot out here.
Yeah. How about you, Hannah? How's it going?
You know, Vince, just another day in paradise.
There you go. So we're out at the Garden of Tomorrow. We're at 18th Street and Broadway here in Phoenix, 1823 East Broadway to be exact, and we're celebrating Earth Day. We've got some things going on out in the community. We're going to be joined by some special guests today, as always, and we're going to talk about those a little later as the show goes on. We'll be here until 10 a.m. There's a great event going on out here at the Garden of Tomorrow, and we are joined by a special member of the Tiger Mountain Foundation, and that name should probably be familiar to you. For those of you that have been following our show for some time, we did a special about 2 summers ago. We called it the Summer Spotlight Series, where we visited different nonprofit charitable organizations, and we were at a different garden, I think down on Vineyard. Today we're at the Garden of Tomorrow. We're joined by our special guest, Chance Morales. Chance, thanks so much for joining us here on the Varsity Sports Show and to talk about today's event.
Thank you for having me. You know, some people do call it Tiger Fountain Foundation, so you weren't that far off.
There you go.
All right, Chance, I'd just like to start off with, can you tell us a little bit about what you do here?
Yeah, so one of my main roles is I kind of oversee a few of our community gardens. This is one of them. This is Garden of Tomorrow. It tends to be a lot of people's favorites. We have a lot of cool things going on here. This was actually the first garden that actually got Tiger Mountain Foundation started about 16, 17 years ago. It's a very special place. They teamed up with the apartment complex here, and since they've been up and running, they've been able to serve the community with healthy, edible food because, as you may know, this is a food desert. You know, there's not a lot of grocery stores nearby. There's a ton of convenience stores, and due to more and more farmland getting bought up and more strip malls and commercial space and residential space popping up, there's less and less fresh food available, and the fresh food that is available is a lot higher price than what most people can afford. So what we try to do here is we grow a lot of healthy food, but we don't just grow the run-of-the-mill varieties. You know, some people, they'll just get like a dill pickle or like a run-of-the-mill cucumber. We have Armenian cucumbers, black striped, white striped Armenian cucumbers, lemon cucumbers. When we grow lettuce, we grow red tango lettuce, red romaine lettuce, black seeded Simpson lettuce. We've got 5 different strains of kale. I think right now we have 6 different strains of squash and zucchini, about 5 different strains of melons, watermelons, honeydews, cantaloupes. We actually have a really special variety of mint that's unique to our garden that the bees and stuff kind of cross-pollinated themselves. It's an apple mint crossed with a spearmint, and we do have a few other mint varieties here. But yeah, we try to do a lot of really cool things here. We kind of have like our own little citrus grove. We have awesome flowers all over the place, creating microclimates. We have desert plants, tropical plants, anything that you want. Basically, we always take people's feedback and try to grow whatever people want.
And then, Chance, how do you get this food to other people? Do they come to you or do you go to them?
So a little bit of both. You know, we have a lot of exposure here. So when people walk by, you know, a lot of the neighbors, they tend to do ask for food. But we do have 3 different farmers markets. At a time of the year, we do one of those venues 2 times a week. That's at the Uptown Farmers Market. We are at Fountain Hills Farmers Market, Ahwatukee Farmers Market. We do a smaller pop-up, I believe, on second Saturdays at Spaces of Opportunity. That's the venue off of Vineyard that he mentioned earlier, and we have a pop-up market here.
And so how have you seen this foundation grow and evolve since you first started?
Man, I've only been here for about a year, but what I've been told from some of the veterans and from one of our metrics tells us is we're producing more food than we've ever produced in the history of the company. And so that means that we're able to feed a lot more people. And the cool thing about us is when you do come to our booth, all of our food is donation only. You know, if you don't have a lot of money to spend, you know, you can spend $3, $5 and get as much produce as you want. We always welcome higher donations because that's what keeps our gardens afloat. That's what allows us to feed the community. But we take anything that you have to give, and we'll give you whatever you need to nourish your body.
And then how many gardens are with the Tiger Mountain Foundation?
So we have a location that's actually really, really cool. It's off of Priest and Broadway. It's in an office complex. That's our Max 6 location, and hopefully it's a technique that gets started throughout a lot of areas of the country, but it's called agro-landscaping. And it's basically the idea that you take out a lot of the decorative plants that are utilizing resources in the parking lots like water and things, and we actually grow food there, plants that you can actually use. We just opened up a community garden. It's supposed to be a native Arizona pollinator garden that's open to the community where people can come and relax, and that's off of 32nd Street in Weir, the old Benjamin Brooks Academy Elementary School. We have Spaces of Opportunity. That's the bigger location off of Vineyard, and we have this location. But we also do contracting. We do a contract with Nina Mesa Pulliam Audubon, which is an awesome area. It's off of 3rd Avenue or 3rd Street in Rio Salado, and it's like actually a national bird and reptile preserve where people come from all over the world to enjoy the weather, the scenery. And we do a lot of the landscaping there. We also team up with Escalante Park, who helps out with Meals on Wheels, and we help consult with them as well. So we'll try to take any job that you give us. We also have another awesome project, the Backyard Garden Project. So every year there's a lot of raffles that go on, and I believe we're responsible for about 100 beds. And basically what those raffle winners get is a garden bed built in their backyard for free with food and education throughout the year, and then we also get other contracts to do that in like parks and other areas as well.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Chance. We're going to be here throughout the morning. Obviously, we're going to come back to the well and bring you back on periodically to talk about what's going on out here today to celebrate Earth Day. We'll be joined also by the executive director of the Tiger Mountain Foundation, Darren Chapman, an old friend of mine from my old St. Mark's Elementary days, and we'll look forward to it. Thanks again, Chance. We appreciate
thanks for having me. And we have sunscreen for you, too.
Man, I need that. Anyway.
You have a good one.
Thank you. You too. Okay, guys, so we're moving right along, and I just checked our program grid, and we're joined by the baseball coach out at Buckeye High School, Kevin Battaglia. Coach Battaglia, how are you, sir?
Good morning. I'm doing well. How are you?
Good, Coach. So we've had an opportunity to cover Buckeye sports the past couple of years, and we actually did a baseball game for you guys last night. We broadcast a game for you, and didn't turn out the way you wanted it to, but we got a chance to spotlight some of your kids. Tell us a little bit about your program.
Yeah, absolutely. We're a young group right now. We're very green. Just trying to figure it out. With only 3 full-time returning varsity starters, that could be a good and a bad thing. I was saying last night, I never believe in wasted games or wasted years. You can learn a lot, and that's exactly what we did with this year. Season hasn't really panned out how we wanted, but we learned a lot. The boys have grown a lot, and we're just a competitive program that likes to hustle and do the little things, and obviously go out there and compete and do our best. We have been struggling a little bit, but it hasn't waned our confidence at all. The boys are still positive, they're still upbeat, and they have fun playing the game, and that's kind of what we try to teach from the freshmen on to the seniors is, go out and compete in every ball and get after it, get after every base. Try to turn doubles or try to turn singles into doubles and just play the game the right way. The game will take care of you.
Awesome. Hi, Coach. This is Hannah. How are you today?
I'm doing well. How are you, Hannah?
Good. So after yesterday's game against Independence, what are you hoping to see from your team for your next game against them on Monday?
Yeah, kind of more of the same in terms of competitiveness. Our boys, really value the game itself and respect our opponent, respect our game, and respect the game. They go out, they're going to compete, and it's not really. Obviously, I'd like to say that we're going to go out there and win, but being the last game of the season, there's still plenty to learn from the coaching staff and the players themselves. But we're still going to continue to play loose. We're still going to continue to compete. You always never want to get swept by an opponent, so I know yesterday night left a bad taste in our locker room's mouth. So they're going to go out and they're going to do their best to try to end the season on a great note and finish above 500.
All right. Hi, Coach. This is Dominic here. I just wanted to ask you a question about so I know you guys have a really good record in section play. So just tell me some of the keys to your being able to be so successful in those games.
Yeah, it's you always want to win your region games. That's kind of something that we've talked about. We never talk about a state championship with our program. The goal is always win region and see if that's enough to get you in. And our boys have really accepted that mentality. We go out and we value our region games. It's not to say that we don't value our non-region games, but that's always the goal every year when we come in. It's always let's win region and see where that takes us. And so, it's a long process. It's getting scouting reports on other teams. It's obviously the boys all talk to each other throughout the program to see how each team's doing, but they all kind of play club ball together too, so they kind of know each other's tendencies and strategies, and they share that information with me, and so it's always good to try to do your best in non-region, but obviously the bigger goal is to win the region, and so we just go out there and we compete and we see what happens. Our region is, we take a look at where the rankings fit right this year, and I think we have a competitive region. but it's, you know, there's a little bit more emphasis. So the boys are a little bit more focused. When you see a team twice in the season compared to once, you start to get the feel for what they do. And so that first game is more so kind of getting your feet wet, learning about them, and then, you know, obviously taking what you've learned from game one and moving it to game two. And that's something that we've been successful doing the last couple of years.
All right, well, thank you so much, Coach Battaglia, who is the Buckeye baseball head coach. Thank you so much for doing this interview, and good luck on the upcoming game this week.
Absolutely. Thank you guys for having me on.
All right. So Kevin Battaglia out at Buckeye High School had a great partnership we've developed with the Hawks. Hannah, what do we have coming up next?
Coming up next, we have a few of our favorite segments. We have the Desert Mountain baseball team. It's Dylan with Sabrina, the NAIA report with Brandon, and Under Radar with Caleb.
All right, guys, stick around. We'll be back after the break here on the Varsity Sports Show. A lot of good stuff out at the Tiger Mountain Foundation Garden of Tomorrow, 18th Street and Broadway here in Phoenix. Come out, join us. We got the best producer in the business behind the glass. We'll be right back after the break. Go Varsity.
Have you downloaded the KDUS AM 1060 skill for Alexa yet?
Food. Alexa is frustrated. No matter how many times do you ask, the answer is mail, chicken.
Once you're ready, say Alexa, open KDUS AM 1060 to listen to your favorite shows.
Hey everyone, I'm Caleb Wiley. I'm from the LA area, and I study sports journalism at the Walter Cronkite School of Journalism at ASU. From being the sports editor at my high school to being a broadcast reporter for Cronkite News, I like to say I bring a nice versatility to the show. Whether it's in front of the camera or behind the scenes, can't wait to bring you guys high school sports content on the Varsity Sports Show. See you guys there.
Training Better Athletes was founded by renowned football coach Ron Sowers with the philosophy of training well-rounded young people in mind and body. TBA is the go-to for middle schoolers through the pros. Coach Sowers has worked with all sports but specializes in football offensive and defensive line skills training. Whether it's one-on-one or group training, reach out to Coach Sowers at trainingbetterAthletes.com or call him at 602-435-9064. You can't cheat the grind.
Hi, my name is Jacob Seaver with the Varsity Sports Show, and I am currently a sophomore at Arizona State University's Walter Cronkite School for Journalism and Mass Communication. I am excited to be on the mic this year and looking forward to bringing you some of the best high school and JUCO content that the world has to offer. Definitely looking forward to seeing you and for you to hear me on the Varsity Sports Show.
We'll do what's best for the team, and we'll do what's best for you.
The Rich Eisen Show coming to you weekdays from 3 to 5 p.m. here on KDUS AM 1060 and KDUS1060.com.
It's Desert Mountain Wolves baseball with Coach Ryan Dyer on the Varsity Sports Show, AM 1060, KDUS, Arizona.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to my segment. I had the great opportunity to speak with Desert Mountain freshman coach Tim Spatz earlier this week, and I would love to share parts of that interview with you guys today. Let's take a quick look. All right, Varsity fans, thank you so much once again for tuning in. We are excited to have head coach Tim Spatz over at Desert Mountain Freshman Baseball. Coach, I want to ask you the question that I really ask every coach and player that I talk to. What is your baseball philosophy? What does the game mean to you, and how do you help spread that amongst the kids that you coach?
Really, my goal is to be the type of coach that people want to play for, that I think there's life lessons in sports. Hard work ethic obviously is a big part of this, paying attention to details. Again, baseball's been very good to me. I've had a chance to work at a lot of different levels. So any chance to give back, I coach the opposite team. I give them tips. So to me, it's about coaching baseball, and if we get some wins along the way, that's even better.
No, that's great to hear. So to you, it's very obvious that the game itself means a lot to you. I mean, hearing that even when you're coaching other teams, sometimes you'll slip a tip in there. I mean, that's great to hear, especially given that you're working with these young kids that have such incredible aspirations and dreams. And what would you say is kind of a moment that you've experienced in your career where you really saw some of that work pay off in a kid's career?
I've had probably at least a half a dozen kids that came into freshman baseball, felt that they were an infielder or a catcher or something, and I moved them to another position because I felt like it was going to be the best chance moving forward. And I was lucky enough, one of them made it to AAA. I've had about 6 others play Division I baseball because they bought in. They believed that they really could move on and improve, and that I had their best interest in heart, and they trusted me. So I think that trust that you build is what's really important to me.
I know we were talking about this earlier. Who are some of those guys that you can highlight that have been standouts for you guys? I just want to give the fans an idea of, the future of Desert Mountain baseball. Who's going to be leading that up?
This year, I'd say Everett Hagen's been our leading hitter. He'll play some outfield pitch. He's caught a little bit. Gavin Luna will be catching tonight. He's played some infield, pitched a little bit. He's been a very consistent offensive performer. Brady Redan's been probably our top pitcher all year, but our pitching just as a whole, we've had a staff of about 9 or 10 guys that have really been pretty successful, and so I would say offensively those two, and then the staff as a whole has been pretty good.
And then outside of just the athletics here, what's the community like at Desert Mountain? I want to kind of tell the people about this. It's way up here in Scottsdale. It's an incredible campus. I love the campus coming out here. I have such a great time every time. What's the community like here at Desert Mountain?
I just had a meeting with the career counselor that we have that works with the outgoing seniors to work with colleges, and I think last year we earned something like $22 million worth of scholarships out of the senior class. So we've really got some academic-minded kids. We have an enormous amount of elective courses available here. We have an IB program that draws kids from all over the valley. And like I said, I've been fortunate that I have very, very few discipline issues in the classroom. It really is a good place to be. It's a very respectful place to be.
Is there anything else that you, Coach, would like us to know about your team?
I just appreciate all the work that you guys do. Covering high school sports, that's not something that makes major newspapers or ESPN. So I think it's great that you guys are working on your trade, but at the same time giving some exposure. So we appreciate that.
I'll tell you one thing, I definitely will be spending a lot of time out here at Desert Mountain High School, where I've had such a great time so far this year. And Coach Tim Spatz, once again, thank you so much for taking a few minutes to speak with me, and I'm sure we'll speak again in the future. Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Pleasure.
He's back again, DYLAN. Welcome to the Varsity Sports Show segment. It's Dylan, featuring Dylan and highlighting his latest adventures. This segment is brought to you by Chris Scott of Remax Key Properties in Bend, Oregon. Now it's time to grab your snacks, turn your volume up as you tune into It's Dylan on the Varsity Sports Show. Welcome back to the Varsity Sports Show segment. It's Dylan, and of course, I'm your host Sabrina, and I'm here with none other than everyone's favorite Dylan. Dylan, how are you doing?
I'm doing great, Sabrina. You?
I'm doing great. Dylan, obviously, we've been talking about it for a while. It's almost that time of the year. It's almost summertime. We're seeing, getting warm outside, the sun coming up. Soon you will be out of school and everything. What are some things that, that's coming up that you're really excited about? Like, what's some things that's going on with Dylan that he's really excited about coming up?
Well, I'll tell you what I'm really not excited about is that Jazz Fest is coming up in New Orleans in a couple of weeks, and I will not be going. And last year I had the best time and kind of promised myself that I would never miss another one. But priorities changed a little bit, and this year I'm taking it off. But in spirit, I will be there, and I will be following along on all of my friends' adventures, partying and having a good time through them.
When was the last time you missed Jazz Fest?
Well, this would be it. Well, I only went last year, but it was such a great time that, well, I've been several times, but last year I promised myself I was going to make a streak of it. And I was just going to have such a great time every year and grow from it and have different experiences and try different things and all the things that come with seeing the city of New Orleans. But this year, you know what? Things just kind of have changed over the last few months.
Okay, so we're not going to Jazz Fest, obviously, this year.
No, not going to Jazz Fest. But, you know, summer's coming up. Our baseball season's wrapping up next Monday. And then the school year will wrap up pretty fast. Well, you know, there's only a few weeks left. And with testing and things like that, it goes pretty fast. Then I get a week off and I'm going to teach summer school. So that'll be good. So my June will be pretty busy with summer school. I'm going to get outside and try to get in shape and just see some things as much as I can during the month of June. I am going on a, I don't know how to call it really, like a self-care, spiritual, some kind of retreat in Mexico in late June. So that should be pretty interesting and fun all at the same time. And then July will hit and, you know, it's just kind of like, maybe I'll get out of town, maybe I won't, maybe I'll do some projects around the house, something, but school will start out of nowhere. You know? So the summers do fly by pretty fast.
Dylan, always appreciate you talking to me.
It's always a pleasure.
Thanks, Dylan.
All right.
And thank you to you for tuning into It's Dylan on the Varsity Sports Show.
Hello, sports fan, as you're listening to the NIA Sports Report coming from Varsity Sports. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Varsity Sports Show. My name is Brandon Tran. This week, I'll be recapping the Arizona Christian Firestorm baseball team as they're 26-17, 11-10 in the GSAC conference as they won 3 out of the last 4 games. They did lose the first game against Ottawa, but they bounced back to win the last 2 GSAC conference game against Ottawa, starting off with the recap in the second game against Ottawa, led by Ryan Eastrom, go-ahead home run as he was 3 for 4 in that game, and followed up was Griffin Swan hitting a solo bomb as the Firestorm prevails in extra inning 7-4, and they win the season finale against Ottawa and winning the series as they beat them 18-2 as Justin Ramirez was 3 for 5 with a walk, scoring 2 runs and 3 RBIs, along with third baseman Enrique Paches going 3 for 4, a walk, scoring 2 runs and having 3 RBIs, along with the stellar pitching performance by Jackson Holisey going 6 innings, 3 Ks, and only allowing 2 runs, along with the bullpen going 3 innings, 0 hits, and 5K combined. Looking ahead to their schedule, they'll have a tough game, playing at number 19 Benedictine, playing a doubleheader, and then playing big GSAC conference game on Friday and Saturday on April 21st and 22nd at home against number 6 ranked Hope International. As the Firestorm will look to post a big upset against those ranked teams. Even though the GSAC conference hasn't started yet, it will look good in their resume if they beat these ranked teams. As that's all I have for this week's recap, as I'm Brandon Tran, and I hope to see you all next time.
You are listening to Under the Radar, a segment based around overlooked players around the AZ area, with your host, Caleb Wiley. Good morning, and welcome to another Under the Radar on the Varsity Sports Show. I'm your host, Caleb Wiley. Now, for this last Under the Radar segment, I want to talk about 2 seniors. I just want to talk about 2 seniors because I feel like seniors who don't have any D1 scholarships are the ones that need it the most or need the exposure the most, just because their time is coming close to an end and they need to get any type of highlight that they can get. So let's just get right into it. The first player I want to talk about is out of Buckeye High School in Buckeye by the name of Jerry Leyva Jr. Now, he is 5'9", so that could turn off some scouts out there in the D1 world, but he's a high prolific player, high scorer, can score from all 3 levels. If you're 5'9", you play in today's game, you're probably gonna have a shot, and he does have a shot. He averaged 25 a game, 6 assists, 5 rebounds, and 4 steals. So you know he is playing hard out there. As someone who is on the shorter side, you would like to see that assist stat a little bit up, but he was their main scorer, so you can't really be mad at him being the one option because he is the number 1 option on that team.
Now, the next senior I want to talk about is out of Grand Canyon High School in Grand Canyon by the name of Roman Evans. He's 6'3", and he's like a wing type player. He averaged close to 20 points per game. He averaged a double-double with points and rebounds because he had 10 rebounds a game. He also racked up 3 steals and 2.3 blocks. Well, that's all the time I have for today. Thank you for listening to Under the Radar on the Varsity Sports Show.
Well, welcome back here, everyone, to the Varsity Sports Show live from the Garden of Tomorrow, and here with my co-hosts Hannah Pettiferi and Vince Delisio. So what we have coming up after the break, I'll be doing an interview with the GCU women's head coach of the rugby team when it comes back. So just stay tuned and don't miss out.
Yeah, we're looking forward to getting Coach Mahoney back with us here on the Varsity Sports Show. Stick around, guys. We'll be back. Go Varsity.
James Out West brings NFL, NBA, MLB, and local sports talk to you Monday night starting at 7 on KDUS AM 1060 and the KDUS 1060 app.
Hey, local businesses, join the Varsity Sports Show and promote your business on our weekly radio show and game live streams. We have several options to promote your business affordably and reach our incredible audience. Call, text, or email us anytime if you'd like more information on joining our team. The Varsity Sports Show will work hard to promote your business through our audio and video platforms while also promoting all of our young people. 480-779-9437 or email us at varsitysportshow.com.
Hello, sports fans. This is Dick Stockton, and you are listening to Arizona's home of youth, high school, college, and you, the Varsity Sports Show on AM 1060, KDUS, Arizona.
It's game time, and we're here to win. Hi, I'm Sabrina Giles. I'm a senior at ASU and studying at the Walter Cronkite School of Journalism and Mass Communications, with my major being sports journalism. I'm excited to announce that this spring I will be working with the Varsity Sports Show to bring you any and all things sports. From commentary to broadcast, I'll be working to cover your favorite teams and make my mark on the world of sports journalism.
Hello, my name is Hannah Pettiferi, and I am currently a student at the Walter Cronkite School of Journalism and Mass Communications here at Arizona State University. I am beyond excited to be joining the Varsity Sports Show this spring. Growing up, I have always played sports, and now I cannot wait to be able to study, analyze, and commentate on the sports that are being played this season in Arizona.
Carving out time in your afternoon for the Doug Gottlieb Show right here on KDUS AM 1060, 100.7 HD2, and KDUS1060.com. Weekdays from 1 to 3 p.m.
All right, hello everyone, and welcome back here to the Varsity Sports Show live from the Garden of Tomorrow. And on the line now, we'd like to welcome back the head coach of the GCU women's rugby team, Lindsay Mahoney. So, Lindsay, how are you doing today?
I'm doing really well. We're about to play here in a few hours, so I'm happy as can be. Thank you.
So, I'd like to start off with Coach. So, you guys have had a very successful season so far. So, just tell me, give me a little update on like how the season has gone for you.
It's been a great season. It's been a great few seasons, actually. We were one of the few teams to really come out of COVID strong, and I think a lot of that was attributed to a really strong culture. So this season we went 7-1 in our conference season with our only loss to the defending national championship, which was BYU. Our point differential average was like 50 to 6 in every single game, so it was really cool. Just really strong. The girls have had just a really strong outlook on it. So we are here in Stanford actually for the quarterfinals, semifinals of the national championship, which unfortunately yesterday we experienced our first loss. So that was the first loss outside of BYU that we've had in the past 3 years. So it's a bit of a shake, but I think the girls are still learning a lot from it.
Hi, Coach. This is Hannah. I see that you volunteered or still do volunteer for rookie rugby. What exactly does that entail, and what do you do with that?
You know, Hannah, I need to update my LinkedIn because I do not still volunteer with Rookie Rugby. That used to be a program where kids would middle schools and elementary schools, you would go and volunteer with a PE program and bring rugby to the school and like donate balls and stuff. But sorry, that's actually no longer a thing. But it would be an awesome thing to start back up.
Hi, and Coach. So your team, like you said, has been very good this season, winning all games except against BYU. So, with this regionals tournament, what do you hope they can learn from this experience of playing there?
Well, like I said yesterday, we lost against Stanford, which is our first loss outside of BYU in the past 3 years in our conference. So, while winning is awesome, I think there's a lot that you can learn from a loss. So while we're not happy about it, we really took yesterday to sit down as a team and decide what it means to lose for GCU and how we're going to respond to that. So I'm excited to see today because they still have a game against Cal. That's a bit of a consolation match. So I'm excited to see what the girls take from a loss and how they respond to that. So even though we lost, I'm excited to see what we learn from it.
And then, Coach, what exactly made you get into rugby?
So I actually found rugby in college. So I was late to rugby. I went to Arizona State, and I was driving to campus that day, and I remember being like, I need to make friends. So I was walking around campus, and there was a club there, and one of the girls was like, hey, you want to try rugby? It was really it was like a God thing because it came out of nowhere, and it completely changed my life. So that's why I'm really passionate about finding girls from other sports who want to transfer into rugby, especially in college, because I think it's never too late to join the sport. It changed my life. It brought me so many experiences and opportunities. I'm just so glad that I found it, even though it was late.
Mm-hmm.
And Coach, so going off that, what have you enjoyed the most about being able to coach rugby at GCU?
There is so much. I just think GCU's provided us an awesome platform to be able to serve these girls. There aren't a lot of – it's a club sport at GCU, and it's a merging sport in the NCAA. So women's rugby is in a weird position where the majority of their teams are under the club sphere. And GCU Club Sports has done a great job at providing an atmosphere for these club sport athletes that feels very varsity-like and is able to serve the girls in every single way because these girls are going through a lot. And I think we're able to provide them a great service and just kind of treat the whole person and grow people, not just players. So there's so much I love about it.
And then if you can give advice to someone who is wanting to play a sport or wanting to join rugby, what advice would you give to them?
I would say just go do it, especially if you're at GCU, it'll take you. But yeah, just go do it, especially if you're in college. The best way to get involved, to make friends, to build relationships that are really long-lasting. And I think it just helps build character all around. So absolutely stay in sports. I think it's the quickest way to stay healthy and stay healthy for a long time. So do it. And if you're interested in rugby, I would love to talk to you about it. It's a sport that you can really start at any point in your life. Well, even when you're young. Don't go, at 50, don't go do that.
And Coach, so what do you think is some of the challenges with coming into rugby if you're new?
There's a lot of challenges, I think, especially for females. We don't have a ton of contact sports offered to us in our youth. A lot of boys will come into rugby with football experience, so they've tackled before. Sometimes girls can be hesitant going into the contact area, so that can be a challenge. I tell girls you're either going to love it or you're going to hate it. But I would say the majority of girls love it. So just getting into there and having the confidence to go out and play a contact sport and to tackle and to get physical. But again, I think most of that's just a confidence thing.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Coach Mahoney, for coming back and doing this interview, and good luck on your rest of your regionals tournament this weekend.
Yes, thank you guys so much. I appreciate it.
And coming up, we have Around the Globe and overview with Olivia. So don't go anywhere and stay tuned.
It's more than just a game. Sit back and relax for a global overview of sports and sports cultures, games around the globe, and coverage of countries worldwide. Welcome to Around the Globe with Maya Denise Gaskin.
Good morning, Arizona. This is your host, Maya Denise Gaskin, with another segment of Around the Globe. Let's get into it. Our first story takes us to the world of football, where the UEFA Champions League has reached the quarterfinal stage. Some of the biggest names in European football are still in the running, including Manchester City, Real Madrid, and Paris Saint-Germain. The standout tie of the round is undoubtedly the clash between Liverpool and Real Madrid, with the two sides meeting for the first time since 2018 finals. With the first leg set to take place this week, fans are eagerly anticipating a thrilling encounter between the two clubs, which is sure to make football history. Now, let's talk golf. The Masters tournament is set to tee off at Augusta National. The tournament was rescheduled from its usual April slot to November last year due to the pandemic, but now returns to its traditional place on the calendar. All eyes will be defending champion Dustin Johnson, who set a new scoring record in last year's event. However, there are plenty of other contenders vying for the coveted green jacket, including Bryson DeChambeau, Jordan Spieth, and Rory McIlroy. With the course in pristine condition and the world's best golfers in attendance, this year's Masters promised to be an unforgettable performance. Unfortunately, that's all for me today. Thank you for tuning in to the Varsity Sports Show on KDUS 1060. This is your host, Maya Denise Gaskin, with Around the Globe. And until next time, Arizona, have a beautiful day.
Hello and welcome to this edition of Overview with Olivia on the Varsity Sports Show. In today's segment, I'll be discussing the Arizona Diamondbacks' success during the season thus far and what you can look forward to. The Diamondbacks have been on a roll this season, going as far as to have a 4-game win streak. The D-backs are currently 11-8 as of April 19th and are first in the NL West standings. The Diamondbacks were previously on the road visiting the Miami Marlins, where their series went 1-2 for Arizona. Following that matchup, they versed the St. Louis Cardinals, where the D-backs won the series 2-3. On Wednesday's game, pitcher Madison Bumgarner made the start for the Diamondbacks. Unfortunately, the lefty struggled, which resulted in a 14-5 loss. Bumgarner did not return to the mound following the end of the third inning. Back in 2020, Bumgarner signed an $85 million deal with the D-backs for 5 years. With many up-and-coming players in the league, it'll be interesting to see where Bumgarner stands for the years to come. When asked by the media, Bumgarner said, "I don't. I wish I had some kind of answer." Next up, the D-backs will be back at Chase Field and facing the San Diego Padres for a 4-game series from April 20th through the 23rd. The first 15,000 fans on Saturday's game will receive a Zach Gallen scoreless streak bobblehead. Gallen has hit an incredible franchise record with 44.1 scoreless innings. Following that matchup, the Kansas City Royals will be in town for a 3-game series. The Diamondbacks hit the road again at the end of April as they take on the Colorado Rockies. That's it for this edition of Overview with Olivia. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll catch you next time. How do you think it's going so far here at the Garden of Tomorrow?
I think it's going very well. It's starting to get a little hotter as the day goes on, but it's still looking great out here.
Yeah, I'm thinking about putting on some sunscreen soon.
Yeah, it's starting to get a little hot, but it's looking beautiful out here with all the plants that they have growing. It's just amazing to see.
Mm-hmm. With all the sunflowers too. Very nice. What do you think their most popular thing is that they take from this garden?
It's hard to tell because there's so many good plants out here that they grow, and it's so important for the community that I think a lot of this, like, I think everything just goes. It's just so important. So it's just great to see that, like, this event can come together, especially on an important day like Earth Day, which is usually a very important day on the calendar. So it's just great to see.
And I think it's super important what they do, and overall just super cool for the community. And then coming up after the break, we have a special guest joining us, the Thunderbird head coach, Mike Jacobs, the JUCO Report with Jodeci, and the Sun Devil Report with Eric. So make sure you stay tuned with the Varsity Sports Show, and we will see you after the break.
SB Nation Radio is now Sports Map Radio, keeping sports content fresh and fun. Join us right here on KDUS AM 1060.
The Varsity Sports Show is proud to partner with SaberCat Athletics. That's right, the Scottsdale Saguaro SaberCats are on the Varsity Sports Show. Join the varsity team as we cover the Cats during the SaberCat Report on Saturday morning's Varsity Sports Show on AM 1060 KDUS Arizona, featuring players, coaches, and commentary. Look out for live stream coverage of Saguaro SaberCat sporting events by going to YouTube and searching for Varsity Sports Show, then click that subscribe button to stay up to date. The Saguaro SaberCats are here. Hey, local businesses, join the Varsity Sports Show and promote your business on our weekly radio show and game live streams. We have several options to promote your business affordably and reach our incredible audience. Call, text, or email us anytime if you'd like more information on joining our team. The Varsity Sports Show will work hard to promote your business through our audio and video platforms while also promoting all of our young people. 480-779-9437 or email us at varsitysportshow.com. Chris Scott of RE/MAX is Central Oregon's best realtor for anyone thinking of a vacation home or relocation. He's our very own born and raised Phoenician who moved his family to Central Oregon nearly 15 years ago. Contact Chris if you're thinking of exploring beautiful Central Oregon. It truly is living at its best. 541-999-5614. Proud partner of the Varsity Sports Shows, it's Dylan. Coaches, the Varsity Sports Show wants to be part of your team in 2023. We have a proven track record of providing the most coverage of your teams with Thursday and Friday night football. We will spotlight your players with multi-camera game broadcasts, pre- and post-game interviews, and segments on our Saturday morning radio show. With over 100 games broadcast in 2022, we will be exceptional for your team. Call, text, or email 480-220-4629 or info@varsitysportshow.com.
Listener rewards for you with the KDUS 1060 app. Download today to hear all of the national and local shows you love. That's the KDUS 1060 app.
Tighten up with Thunderbird Titans Baseball on Varsity Sports Show AM 1060 KDUS Arizona. And now, here's Titans coach Mike Jacobs.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Varsity Sports Show live from the Garden of Tomorrow, and I hope you're celebrating Earth Day outside and being one with nature.
You know, it's a beautiful day out here. I mean, the sun is starting to beat down a little bit. It's not very warm, but we still have to protect ourselves from the sun. But there's a lot of volunteers out here. Looking around, guys, they're going to be handing us shovels pretty soon if we're not careful. You know, but you've got organizations that commit their time and efforts to bringing this in and making it what it is, and it really is an amazing event. We're out here celebrating Earth Day. Come on out to the Garden of Tomorrow. We're out at 1823 East Broadway here in South Phoenix. It's very easy to get to. We're just minutes from the airport, and it's just an amazing setting. And we'll find out more about the different vegetables. And when we had Chance on at the beginning of the show, he talked about like 5 different types of zucchini that I never even heard of: squash and mint. He had mentioned some mint and some other things, and so definitely a great time and a great morning, guys. What's going on in the news these days? I'm sure there's a lot, but what are some things of note? We got Suns playoffs. We've got the NFL draft coming up. We had ASU spring football game last week. Hannah and Dom, you guys are on campus. What type of vibe are you feeling in terms of football?
Well, if we're talking about vibes on campus, I think everyone's sort of getting ready for summer.
Hey, and by the way, and we're going to circle back on that, I want to start off by introducing Coach Mike Jacobs, and we have a special day. Aaron, take it away.
Hola. It's your birthday. We're here to party and sing to you. It's from me. Hope you are bueno.
All right.
The fun will rain the whole day.
Coach Jacobs, that comes from your parents. You're never too old to celebrate your birthday, especially when it comes from mom and dad. So happy birthday to you, and how's it going?
It's going great. Had a great day yesterday. We celebrated with a nice light day of yoga, and we're just finishing up practice this morning. So it was a great end of the week. We wrapped up a region championship on Thursday, so great birthday present.
Hi, Coach. This is Hannah. So being the 4A Skyline champions, what are some things that we can expect for your team as you head into the playoffs?
I think trying to continue to be competitive. That's been one of the big things that we've really worked hard in the second half of the season, is having good competitive at-bat, which we've seen kind of lately here in the last few games. And, with our number one going on Wednesday of next week, Noah Anderson, I think just the same, a competitive outing on the mound. And if we can go, like I've been saying, 3 keys to the things we can do: play hard, have fun, and hustle. Good outcomes usually are the result.
Hi, Coach. Dominic here. So, speaking of going into the playoffs, so with playing such high-intensity games, so what do you hope that your players get to learn from that experience of playing in those type of games?
I think just growing at every moment that we have opportunities for. We've had a lot of opportunities here in the last couple of weeks to learn some of the things that we need to continue to shore up on. Our bunt coverages, our first and third defenses, things that I think continuously you see when you're on defense, and just have to be able to execute those small things. And you do those little things, pitching, play solid defense, again, usually a good outcome.
What would you say is your guys' stronger set, offense or defense?
Probably going into it, man. That's a great question. It depends on which day you catch me on, I guess. One of the things we've been trying to continuously work on is never having an off day defensively. You're always going to run into a guy who can deal and throws well. And not to say you're going to have an off day at the dish, but it's a lot more effective if you're having an off day at the dish than an off day in the field. So really trying to shore up that defense has been one of the big keys for us here in the second half.
And so how have you leaned on the seniors with their experience to be able to lead the team in their winning this season so far?
It's been great. We got 5 seniors that are all starters for us. So, that experience on the field is important because they surround a couple of juniors and a couple of sophomores as well. So just being able to have them have that experience, not get too up, too down, be pretty consistent in their emotions. That's one of the biggest things I think that those seniors bring is just that experience level. And most of them have either played in a playoff game or been a part of it. So I'm excited for next week.
And then coming from a coach's perspective, because I hear a bunch of different things from players, what advice would you have to give to someone who is looking to play baseball in high school?
Listen to your coaches. And I would say you want to play baseball in high school, again, you have to be able to play catch. You got to be able to hit. You got to be able to throw. But again, at the end of the day, I think if guys can continue to work on the process of getting better and not so much focus on the results or the outcome, then again, I think that they see a lot of improvement and then they stay a lot more positive through that. So just continue to develop, go to as many camps and things as they can, and try to have guys that are going to their high school, try to go out, meet their high school coaches, go watch games, and just let them know that they're a part of that program in the future.
Awesome. Well, Coach, thank you for joining us again, and good luck on your future games in the playoffs.
Thank you, guys. Have a good morning.
You too.
Welcome to the Varsity Sports Show. This is the JUCO Sports Report. And now, here is Jodeci Ariana with the JUCO Sports Report.
Welcome to the JUCO Sports Report. I'm your host, Jodeci Ariana. One sport that doesn't get a lot of recognition is beach volleyball. 2 beach volleyball teams from Arizona Community Colleges earned a spot at the NJCAA Beach Volleyball Championship. The championship will be at Hickory Point Beach in Tavares, Florida from April 20th through April 22nd. Mesa Community College finished their season with a 10-6 overall record, 3-0 conference mark, and the Region 1 title. Mesa Community College finished their season with a 10-6 overall record, a 3-0 conference mark, and the Region 1 title. They also finished their season with a 4-game win streak by beating South Mountain Community College 4-1. They are coached by first-year head coach Jordan Harrington. MCC's beach volleyball team is the number 4 seed out of 12 seeds. MCC will compete in Pool D. They will face 12 seed Brighton Stratton College on Thursday, April 20th at 7:15 a.m. Mountain State Time, and 5th seed Lake Sumter State on April 20th at 12:15 p.m. Mountain State Time. This will be the opening round of the tournament. This is the JUCO Sports Report with Jodeci Ariana on the NJCAA Beach Volleyball Championship. South Mountain Community College finished their season with a 10-12 overall record and a 0-3 conference record. They have won 6 of their last 8 games. They defeated Ottawa University with a 4-1 win, but unfortunately lost to Mesa Community College in their final game. They are coached by second-year head coach Pat Mooney. SMCC's beach volleyball team is the number 7 seed out of 12 seeds. SMCC will compete in Pool B. They will face 10th seed State College of Florida on Thursday, April 20th at 9:45 a.m. Mountain State Time, and 2nd seed Richard Bland on Thursday, April 20th at 12:15 p.m. Mountain State Time. This will be the opening round of the tournament. This is the first beach volleyball championship that the NJCAA will host. The tournament will have a pool play style leading to the championship game. The 2022-2023 season saw 18 NJCAA colleges compete in beach volleyball. Beach volleyball was added to the list of NJCAA sports in April 2018. This has been the JUCO Sports Report with Jodeci Ariana on the NJCAA Beach Volleyball Championship.
It's time for the Sun Devil Report with Eric Castellan, bringing you all the latest sports news around Arizona State University. Good morning and welcome to the Sun Devil Report. I'm your host, Eric Castellan, and we had a lot happen last week and a lot that's going to take place this week, so let's jump right in. Kicking it off with the highly anticipated spring football game that took place last weekend, we got a first-hand glimpse of what this ASU football team would look like in a friendly maroon versus gold scrimmage. The Maroon, led by Trenton Burgett, who took a majority of the QB reps for the Sun Devils last season, defeated the Gold 23-15. Some of the biggest takeaways from this inter-squad game included the talent from different units throughout and the factor they can play once the season starts. Coach Kenny Dillingham said that the quarterbacks are still, quote, in the learning curve, and he was also impressed by the overall talent the receiver group has heading into camps as well. This Sun Devil team still has time to improve before their first game on August 31st against Southern Utah. The ASU baseball team went up yet again in the polls this past week, jumping from 24th in the nation to 19th after a productive few games. It started off last Tuesday with a wild game in Phoenix against crosstown rival Grand Canyon. The Devils trailed by as much as 9-2 going into the 8th inning before proceeding to put up 9 runs of their own that inning, tallied 2 more in the 9th, and hung on for a 13-10 come-from-behind victory. ASU then traveled to Seattle for a conference showdown with Washington. After losing the first game 8-3, the Devils bounced back with a statement 8-6 victory that saw yet another freshman steal the show. This time around for ASU, it was Isaiah Jackson, a local Arizona product, rob a go-ahead 3-run homer in the 6th, and followed it up with an electric 2-run inside the park homer in the 8th that proved to be the difference. Sunday's game was not played due to rain, so the Devils end up with a successful 2-1 week as they travel next to Tucson to take on U of A, and then host a Pac-12 series against Oregon State this weekend. The Devils sit at 25-10 overall, 11-3 in Pac-12 play heading into the final 30 days of the regular season. That's going to do it for this week. I'm Eric Castellan, and make sure to tune in next week to the Sun Devil Report on the Varsity Sports Radio Show.
Welcome back to the Varsity Sports Show. Vince Delisio joined by Hannah Pettiferi and Dom Hernandez. It's Dominic Hernandez. Do you like it when I call you Dom, or is that kind of a pain in the butt?
I'm fine with that.
Okay.
I've been called that when I was younger, so
Okay.
I don't really mind either way.
As you journey into the professional journalism and sports journalism, you develop a niche and you develop a nickname. Like, nobody's going to call me Vincenzo, except my mom. So, it's Vince, or, so maybe this is the start of something. You could thank me for this when they refer you to as Dom, Dynamic Dom. Guys, when we come back from the break, hour number 2, we're going to be joined by Carefree Mayor John Crane to talk Earth Day. Stick around, guys. Dom and Hannah and Vince. We'll be back. Go Varsity. Thank you for listening to the Varsity Sports Show, where our mission is to empower education and enable dreams, creating an unmatched platform to showcase talent both in front of and behind the microphone in radio, television, podcast, and live streaming. The Varsity Sports Show, still your home for youth, high school, college, and you in Arizona and beyond.
Broadcasting from the Superbook Sports Studios, KDUS AM 1060 Tempe, Phoenix, and KSLX HD2 Scottsdale, Phoenix.
Hello there, my name is Brian Tran, and I'm a Cronkite student at Arizona State University, and I'm so thrilled to be joining the Varsity Sports Show this semester. As a former athlete myself, I'll be providing content, both boys and girls, as you can follow me on Twitter at BrandonTran70. As I hope to see you all there this semester and provide great content around you.
Hey, local businesses, join the Varsity Sports Show and promote your business on our weekly radio show and game live streams. We have several options to promote your business affordably and reach our incredible audience. Call, text, or email us anytime if you'd like more information on joining our team. The Varsity Sports Show will work hard to promote your business through our audio and video platforms while also promoting all of our young people. 480-779-9437 or email us at varsitysportshow.com. In 2019, the JV Sports Show podcast began with the idea of spotlighting young people in our community. In time, that podcast evolved into radio, television, and live stream, and through that evolution, new ideas have enhanced delivery, giving a stage to students both in front of and behind the microphone in Arizona and beyond. Thank you for supporting the Varsity Sports Show, now the Varsity Media Foundation, a 501c3 educational organization.
Hello, this is local voiceover model and former Daddy Yankee stunt double, Mario Malaby. Be sure to DM us your questions for Ask Lucas on Twitter. And you are listening to the Varsity Sports Show on AM 1060 KDUS, Arizona.
AM 1060 KDUS Tempe, Phoenix, and KSLX HD2 Scottsdale, Phoenix.
This program is made possible by friends of the Varsity Media Foundation,
a 501c3 nonprofit educational organization.
You are listening
to the Varsity Sports Show.
You are listening to the Varsity Sports Show on AM 1060 KDUS Arizona.
On AM 1060 KDUS Arizona.
Still the home of youth, high school, college, and you in Arizona and beyond.
Welcome to the Varsity Sports Show. And now,
Welcome to the Varsity Sports Show.
welcome to the Varsity Sports Show.
All right, you guys, welcome back to the Varsity Sports Show, AM 1060 KDUS Arizona, starting hour number 2. And Vince Delisio joined by Hannah Pettiferi and Dom Hernandez, part of our amazing broadcast team joining us this semester. And we are out at the Garden of Tomorrow in South Phoenix, 1823 East Broadway Road. Starting to get some traffic here, some cars lined up, people coming out, volunteers, and this place serves the community. You get vegetables, and there's a lot that's on donation. If you're not in a position financially to do that, then they'll put a package together for you, and it's a lot of good things going on out here. And just got done actually scarfing down a burrito and real watermelon juice. Like, there is nothing artificial in this jar. It is delicious. And we actually have a special guest joining us this segment to talk some Earth Day activities. Aaron, take it away. So when you hear that introduction, that is none other than our very own. He's the mayor of Carefree, Arizona, but he's our mayor. He is our good friend, and he's a good friend of mine. I've served on council in the town of Carefree. Those of you that didn't know that, I'm a councilman as well. I'm an elected official, heaven forbid, in the town of Carefree, and we knew him. He was our very first guest on what was then the JV Sports Show years ago, and he is now, because of this, he was vice mayor back then. Now, because of his continued celebrity and joining us on air, he's now the mayor of Carefree. John Crane. Good morning, Mr. Mayor.
Well, good morning, Vince. That's great music you play. And it's just an honor to be here. If not for you and in your program, God knows where I'd be.
There you go. See? Now you're getting it, John. It's not just about, getting elected into a position. It's about the celebrity that goes along with it. And thank heaven for that I'm kidding. But anyway, you've really raised the stature of our show, John. But John, we're joined by with Hannah and Dom here, and we're down at the Garden of Tomorrow here in Phoenix. What's going on? And we talked about things going on out here today. What's going on in Carefree today?
Well, we have a great Earth Day program. In fact, it runs from 9 to 1. And for your listeners, I'm going to run through it, but just come on up if you get a chance later in the day. So we have Maricopa County's here, Parks and Rec, the Maricopa County Environmental Services, Tonto National Forest. They have a huge, gigantic Smokey the Bear. It's huge. You can't miss it. Rattlesnake Solutions here with live rattlesnakes in cages. Fortunately, like plastic see-through cages, you can see them. And they're all curled up and just waiting for someone to say hello to. Desert Foothills Land Trust, Wild at Hearts here with predator birds, hawks and falcons, owls. It's just a great morning.
Are they letting people handle the snakes, John?
Well, if you were here, we would for sure. We'd blindfold you and let you do it.
Okay.
Otherwise, no.
Okay.
Hi, Mayor Crane.
It's a fun day.
Go ahead, Dom.
Hi, Mayor.
Go
ahead.
Good morning. One thing I forgot is we have the Scottsdale EV Club, and they brought 10 to 15 electric vehicles, all kinds of different makes. And folks come up, they'll give them a ride in an EV. And for a lot of us, including myself, it'd be my first ride. So that's really cool.
Oh, nice. Okay. All right.
Okay. Hi again, Mayor Crane. This is Dominic. So I just wanted to ask, what do you think is so special about having all these different events around Carefree on Earth Day?
Well, but one, it just emphasizes the message of Earth Day and sustainability. And hopefully folks will be here today and they'll take away some know-how, maybe some behavior modification, and just live a more sustainable life, right? Another person here, another group here is the Carefree Water Company. They'll talk about how to conserve water, how to use water wisely. And that's really what we want to have come out of the program, is just awareness and for folks to go away and treat the planet better and our resources with more respect.
Hi, Mayor Crane. This is Hannah. This doesn't really have much to do with Earth Day, but I've always wondered how cities in Arizona get their names, because there's many cities with several different names that are interesting to me. How did Carefree get its name exactly?
Well, it goes back about, probably 60 years ago. There was a development company, and they were just wrestling with names to come up with. And a lot of it, truthfully, is marketing, right? They wanted to come up with something that would resonate with people, something that people would remember. and they settled upon Carefree, and it's stuck. And it's just a great name because it not only is it's a great marketing tool, but it also kind of personifies what we are, right? We're pretty laid back, and it's just a great place to live and play and work. So it's stuck.
Awesome.
So Mayor Crane, so going off that, what have you enjoyed the most about being able to being the mayor of Carefree?
By far, the most enjoyable thing is when people come in and they have a problem, and you can help them out. So it can be just they want to know something, or maybe they have a real problem, something's not working right, and you can just give them a hand. And that's by far the most enjoyable thing. So you can't solve every problem, but you can, at least maybe bring a partial solution, or you can point them in the right direction, and just helping people out. Because most folks don't know where to go. They don't know who to talk to. They don't even know where town hall is. Maybe they're a little intimidated, and you want to make their life as easy as easy as possible. So when I can do that, I feel good.
So, Mayor Crane, and we're joined on the line here by Carefree Mayor John Crane, and here on the Varsity Sports Show. Mayor Crane, what's so great about the town of Carefree? What are some other things going on within the town that really draw people there, particularly during these peak months when the weather is a little nicer?
Well, there's a great number of restaurants. Almost all of them offer outdoor seating, so you can sit outside. So last night was just beautiful here, and the moon was just a sliver. The stars were out, so maybe unlike a lot of your listeners who live down towards Phoenix and Mesa and so forth, up here it's dark and you can see stars. It's cool, and so these folks come up here. We have good restaurants. It's a great place just to walk around. We have the Carefree Desert Gardens, 4 acres of just a lot of unique vegetation and a lot of native Sonoran desert vegetation. Great sidewalks to walk through.
Yeah.
It's just a great place to experience. We have a new Hampton Inn. It's about 6 to 9 months old in the center of our town. So your listeners can spend the night, enjoy the center of Carefree. We're not that far from Bartlett Lake. Go out there. The flowers are blooming now. It's just beautiful.
That it is, and the wildlife. Yeah.
In the wildlife, absolutely.
Yeah, the wildlife is incredible. We see a lot of family of javelina come through, and the bobcats and the hawks and the owls, and it's just coyotes as well, and deer also. But it's an amazing place, Carefree, town of Carefree. It's really easy to get to, guys. Basically, what you do is you find Cave Creek Road, you take it all the way, and it loops around, and take it all the way north, loops around, and you're in Carefree. Take Scottsdale Road until it ends, turns into a street called Tom Darlington. It's 10 miles north of the 101 on Scottsdale Road, and you run right into the town core. Or you could take Pima and take that into basically till it ends, hang a left and on Cave Creek Road, and you're there. So Mayor John Crane, town of Carefree, celebrating Earth Day, guys. They'll be up there all morning. We're on the other side of town here at the Garden of Tomorrow, 18th Street and Broadway. Mayor Crane, John, thanks so much for joining us, and we'll talk to you soon.
My pleasure, and thanks to you, Vince, Dominic, Hannah. It was a joy. Talk to you next time.
Okay. Thank you. All right, Aaron, take it away.
Hi, everyone. My name is Dominic Hernandez, and today I'm very excited to be doing an interview with an inside center for the GCU women's rugby team, Samantha Garcia. So, Samantha, I'd like to start off with, when did you initially join the team?
I started playing with the women's team last March, and I actually started playing with them during their 7 season. So we went and we were on campus for a month in May, and we just played in the tournament at the end of May. But this is my first 15 season with the team.
So just tell me what the experience has been like playing your first season.
I have never had an experience like this in all the sports that I've played. It's super welcoming, and everyone is available to help you learn and help you grow, especially since rugby is still very new to a lot of people in the U.S. learning it. it takes a little bit of time, but it's something that I've enjoyed over the past year. It's definitely something that has completely like overtaken my life. I love every single bit of it. Playing with the team is so fun. We've all kind of just become this family. They're not just kind of like your teammates that you see when you're at practice and just for games. We hang out whenever we aren't at practice or when we're not in class, or you see your teammates and build relationships with your teammates that you kind of just are always around them.
What are some of the challenges that you've seen?
I think we're all naturally very competitive people and we want to succeed. And sometimes when things go wrong in practice or if things go wrong in training, we get a little frustrated, and kind of being able to figure out how to communicate properly with each other and how to communicate effectively has been something that has been a work on this season for me and our team. But it's definitely been something that we've accepted the challenge, and I think we've done a really good job of being able to communicate effectively with each other.
So, and lastly, I know you are currently getting prepared for this regionals tournament you have coming up. So just tell me what the preparation has been like getting ready to play in that tournament.
So we are currently in California. We just got here today. This entire season, we've been preparing for it. The goal has always been we are going to get to regionals. We need to beat Stanford in the first round, and then we need to beat who is probably going to be the second game. We're either the winner of the UW-BYU game. But in our minds, we've been planning for this big BYU game. The goal has been, we need to beat BYU. What do we need to do to beat BYU? So our mindset going into this is obviously we're looking forward to playing BYU. They're an incredibly competitive team, and they have given us something to work for very specifically. I think that preparing for this specific weekend, we have been really working on making sure that we have the little things down, because we can do all the big things, all the trying to be as creative as possible, but if we can't keep the little things, if we can't do them well, then we're not going to be able to do those big creative things well. So making sure that we have our catch pass down, making sure that we are able to keep our structure. We've been working on a new structure this entire season, and I think it's become something that has become a very strong part of our attack. We've definitely grown a lot, and I'm excited to see what it looks like this weekend.
All right, well, that's all the time we have for today. I'd like to thank an Insight Center for the GCU women's rugby team, Samantha Garcia, for taking the time to do this interview, and good luck on the upcoming regionals tournament.
Of course. Thank you very much.
Thank you for listening, and have a great day.
Have you downloaded the KDUS 1060 app yet? Download today and get all of your favorite local and national shows right on your phone.
Hi, this is Mesa Community College Assistant Athletic Director Mike Lavella and Modern Day Invincible. You're listening to AM 1060, the Varsity Sports Show, the home of all your junior college sports coverage.
Hello, my name is Dominic Hernandez, and I am currently working at the Varsity Sports Show. I am a senior at the Walter Cronkite School of Journalism and Mass Communications at Arizona State University. I will be working various jobs, from working the camera to doing play-by-play of games. I can't wait to see what unique stories there will be in this upcoming high school sports season and be able to cover all the different sports that every high school has to offer.
Chris Scott of RE/MAX is Central Oregon's best realtor for anyone thinking of a vacation home or relocation. He's our very own born and raised Phoenician who moved his family to Central Oregon nearly 15 years ago. Contact Chris if you're thinking of exploring beautiful Central Oregon. It truly is living at its best. 541-999-5614. Proud partner of the Varsity Sports Shows, it's Dylan. Coaches, the Varsity Sports Show wants to be part of your team in 2023. We have a proven track record of providing the most coverage of your teams with Thursday and Friday night football. We will spotlight your players with multi-camera game broadcasts, pre- and post-game interviews, and segments on our Saturday morning radio show. With over 100 games broadcast in 2022, we will be exceptional for your team. Call, text, or email 480-220-4629 or info@varsitysportshow.com.
I'll turn those picks into gold. Wall-to-wall NFL coverage and the biggest stories coming to you from 3 to 5 p.m. The Rich Eisen Show here on KDUS AM 1060 and KDUS1060.com.
The Varsity Sports Show presents the SaberCat Report with Saguaro High School baseball coach Joe Mickey. And now, here's the SaberCat Report.
I ain't watching TV today. Bad news.
Welcome back to the Varsity Sports Show live from the Garden of Tomorrow. I'm here with my co-hosts, Dom Hernandez and Vince DeLassio. And with the SaberCat Report, we have a special guest joining us. But before then, the SaberCat Report is brought to you by Cheese Pass Fast and Fresh. Healthy-minded Mexican for dinners on the go. You can expect all the classics, elevated with the best ingredients, and made from family recipes and generations in the making. Located just east of Hayden on Thomas Road in Scottsdale. Find us on Instagram and Facebook or on the web at cheesepassfresh.com. That's cheesepass, CHISPAS, fresh.com. Open from 8 a.m. to 8:30 p.m. Sunday through Thursday. And now we have Coach Joe Mickey on the line. Hello, Coach. How are you doing today?
Okay. So that was a great intro, by the way. The Cheese Pass, you've got to check them out. That promo took about the whole segment. You got to laugh. It's funny. They're great people, and it's anyway. Okay, Coach, are you there? What's going on? You know, airtime's expensive. What are you doing over there?
I know. I'm sorry. My phone was on mute. I was having a side combo and forgot to unmute.
I guess so. It must have been important, whatever it was, for gosh sakes. Anyway, yeah, so you got Hannah and Dom here. They wanted to grill you with some questions. I know we have a game coming up on Monday and playoffs soon after that, so I'm going to turn it over to Hannah. Hannah, go ahead.
Hi, Coach. How are you?
Well, thanks, Hannah. Thanks for having me.
Good to have you on the show. Throughout the season, what could you say has been your biggest accomplishment for your team?
I think just kind of having an opportunity to win our short-term goal, the first goal we set for our season is, to go win a region. And we're in that position. We're going to kind of look to outright win it on Monday. But to be in that seat and be in that spot is definitely the next, milestone for our program that we want to go out and set and do each year. And then just to have the success that we've had as an overall program, I think has definitely started to, transcend for what we're trying to do on and off the field. And so I think those things have kind of gone hand in hand, but are huge accomplishments for the program to be in the driver's seat to win a region title.
Awesome.
Hi, Coach. Dominic here. So, speaking of your next game, so I know it's senior night in your next baseball game. So just tell me how important that game is for the seniors and your team in general.
And it is. It's an opportunity to recognize, some guys who've been at the varsity level for 4 years, for guys who are making the varsity and this being their last regular season home game. I try to keep it in perspective. It's an opportunity for us to celebrate them. It's not about having to necessarily be the guy or get the hit or do these sorts of things. It's just an opportunity to recognize them and their commitment to the program. And then from a standpoint of trying to also perspective it is like, hey, I'm hopeful we're playing, 5 more after this one and knowing that we're going to host a first round game. You kind of remind them this isn't the last time they're stepping on the field, but to take it all in. And I've kind of gone with our whole New Year resolution mindset is just be where your feet are. And so in those moments, just to kind of take those breaths in and try to really just soak up the opportunity to recognize what you've done over your time here at Saguaro.
And then from the coach's side of the game, what are some things that you yourself and your coaching staff sometimes struggle with?
I think the hard part is when you're having success is just getting everybody opportunities. You have guys who've kind of taken a lot of those on and done well and had success in those roles. And so it is about just keeping everybody on the same page and the buy-in high for the team component, right? I mean, it's a paradox of we're playing an individual sport, but as a team, because it's really you versus the pitcher in the box and you catching and throwing the ball across, and you need everybody kind of being on the same page. And if you're not the guy who's in the lineup or between the lines, your energy and what you bring to the team is as important as the guys who are doing the catching and throwing. So it's all just kind of trying as a coach to make sure that buy-in of that we over me and just team first is always the priority and what we fight for every day, and keeping that as the focus and letting everything else kind of fall in behind those types of things. And so that is a challenge as a coach because, the human element will play a part. We all love to have our moments and have our chances to be the guy, and we root hard for those guys in those situations. But team first is what's going to help us be successful.
So, Coach, with being first place in your section, just tell me, how have you been able to be so successful in your section play this year?
Again, tough region, but I think just preparing for good pitching has led the way a lot of our season. I know Coach Fortney has worked really hard with our staff, and Cade Schumart and Billy Gregory have definitely kind of led our charge there, and Chris Margarella and even guys behind them have really stepped up, and we've really been able to kind of take some steps that have allowed us the opportunity to get our offense going, and then kind of watched our offense unfold and explode for at times lots of runs in games, and I think we're something like 40 runs or something in the last 3 games. And so you're hoping that you show out, and ball out at the right times, and that confidence kind of passes to the next guy, and we're seeing that kind of unfold. And so it's just that preparation that you try to prepare each day for your best, and we've been fortunate enough to showcase that, on the times when it's counted and consistently.
All right, well, thank you so much, Coach Joe Mickey, who's the Saguaro baseball head coach, for doing this interview, and good luck on your upcoming games this week.
I appreciate you. Look forward to seeing you guys on Monday, and thanks for all you do.
And coming up, we have the AZ High School report with Sebastian and the Wildcat Insider, so don't go anywhere and stay tuned, please.
Good morning, Arizona. Welcome to this segment presented by the Varsity Sports Show that features high school highlights from the Valley. Sebastian has some special news for you. Let's see what's in store today. Hello, and we are back for another episode of AZ High School Highlights from the Valley. Today I bring you some boys volleyball between Cienega against Catalina Foothills and some boys baseball between Queen Creek against Highland. Lots of action, here we go. Starting off the match, number 5 Cienega defeated number 14 ranked Catalina Foothills 3-0 on the road on Tuesday night to move 13-0 overall in power ranking contest. The Falcons scored 5 points in a row to close the gap to 24-23 in the first set after it had been back and forth until Cienega moved away to a 24-18 lead. The Bobcats survived the rally in order to win the first set 25-23 on a lift violation. In the second set, Cienega had an early lead of 23-11 and the Bobcats eventually won it 25-14 to make it 2-0. The Bobcats closed the third set on a 5-1 run to win it 25-21. The third set proved to be more challenging, winning both sides playing to a 20-20 stalemate. The highlight of the game was Caden Mott, who picked up 37 assists for Cienega as he spread the ball out evenly during his team victory. Finally, we have Queen Creek trounced Highland 16-3 at Highland High thanks to 15 hits, strong pitching, and error-free play. Danny Smith, a senior right-hander for Queen Creek, earned the victory. With the 3-0 advantage behind him, he shut out Highland through the first 4 innings on only 1 hit. With 8 runs in the 5th inning, the Bulldogs took control of the game. With the rally consisting of 4 hits, 4 walks, and 2 mistakes Highland made during the game, they sent 13 hitters to the plate. Smith put in 6-inning effort. He gave up 5 hits, 3 runs, 3 walks, and 6 strikeouts. The victory improved Queen Creek to 20-6 overall and 6-2 in region play as they still kept themselves within competition as they still trail 1 game back against Corona del Sol for the region title. Thank you for listening and have a great day.
Welcome. It's time for your Wildcat Insider with Mary Grace Armistead. Your inside report on Wildcat athletics on the Varsity Sports Show. Let's get started.
Hi everyone, it's MG on the Varsity Sports Show with your Wildcat Insider. Let's get started. First, we have Arizona men's basketball 2 Bellis has officially entered the NBA draft, and it does not sound like he'll consider a return. 5-star 2024 forward Carter Bryant will make his college decision that comes down to Arizona and Louisville. Boswell, Arizona popular forward, has finally turned 18, Arizona's football spring game has reached an attendance of 23,273, a new spring game record. Arizona women's basketball has some new signees: Courtney Blake, Salmanutu Karo, Isis Bay. Arizona beach volleyball is now ranked 19, beating number 14 Georgia State, but losing to number 8 Hawaii. Men's tennis is ranked 16, scoring up against ASU next. The Wildcats will have 3 other ASU matchups this week, including men's tennis, women's tennis, beach volleyball, and baseball. Arizona baseball catcher Cesar Salazar gets his first major league hit on national TV, but the team fails to beat Washington State in a series but beats Washington. Arizona golf is leading in the Pac-12 tournament ahead of teams like number 14 USC, number 1 Stanford, number 9 Oregon, and number 11 ASU. Arizona softball gets swept by both number 7 Stanford and number 2 UCLA and are up against Oregon and Oregon State next. Arizona men's track and field is now ranked 21, and Talia Bonds gets Pac-12 Track Athlete of the Week. But that's all for your Wildcat Insider. Tune in on the Varsity Sports Show.
Check out the Doug Gottlieb Show, Monday through Friday, 1 to 3 p.m., right here on KDUS AM 1060.
Hi, my name is Maya Denise Gaskin, and I'm a 19-year-old student pursuing a degree in broadcast journalism at the University of Arizona. With a passion for sports and a strong background in dance and performance, I'm excited to pursue my dream of becoming a sports broadcaster. In addition to my professional experience, I have a track record of academic success and leadership throughout my community. I currently serve as your Miss Arizona Teen USA, and I'm eager to use my skills and talents to make a positive impact in the world of sports.
This is Coach Lucas Ramirez, and you are listening to the home of the Saguaro Sabercats, the Varsity Sports Show on AM 1060 KDUS.
Sports, sports, sports. Hello everyone, my name is Sebastian Mondaka, and it's a pleasure of mine to be a part of the Varsity Sports Show this spring. I'm a current undergraduate student studying at the Walter Cronkite School of Journalism and Mass Communication. I'm still unsure of what exactly I want to pursue in sports journalism. However, I hope to learn and advance my knowledge under the Varsity Sports Show and create great memories with you. Let's make this a great year and let's strive for greatness.
The Angry Crab Shack in Tempe. With an experience so good it remains indescribable, with something for every seafood lover. Try one of their amazing custom seafood boils, sandwiches, appetizers, and salads. Angry Crab Shack Tempe is located east of I-10 on Warner Road, 480-674-3847. The Angry Crab Shack in Tempe. Come ready to eat.
Bringing you the latest sports topics weekly right here on KDUS AM 1060 with me, the Doug Gottlieb Show, 1 to 3 p.m.
Welcome back to the Varsity Sports Show, live from the Garden of Tomorrow. I'm here with my co-hosts Dom Hernandez and Vince DeLacio, and for some reason I always struggle saying your last name. I have a special guest joining us today, Marin Valentine.
You're good, Hannah. You're good.
Thank you. I have Marin on the line. Marin, how are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing good. So how do you, first off, happy Earth Day. How do you plan on spending this day with nature?
Well, I had a long run this morning, so I was outside, and I was enjoying the sunrise. It was bright and early, but no big plans for today.
Awesome. And because when did you start, or when did you know you wanted to run for ASU? Because you didn't start until it was, what, your junior year or senior year?
Sophomore year.
Oh, sophomore year.
not run freshman year, and then I was like, I'm bored. And so I decided I'm going to try out for the team. And I did, and I love it, and I'm so happy I did.
Hi, Marin. Dominic here. So, speaking of running for ASU, what has your experience been like being a part of that team?
Oh, it's been so awesome. I've made so many connections and just so many good memories with the team, and we all support each other, and it's a really good environment to be a part of, and I'm really glad I tried out.
And what would you say is one of your best memories with your teams, whether that's from a race or on a bus ride to an away tournament or meet?
Yeah, probably all of the bus rides. They're just so fun, and like once we're done racing, even if you had a good race or a bad race, we're all there for each other and just enjoying the moment. And we get to see so many cool places. Like we've been to San Diego, and I just loved it.
Awesome.
And Marin, with the events you do with running different distances, just what is the challenges of competing at those different distances for running?
It's just a different mindset. Like each race is different, each event is different, so you have to really prepare your mind and your body for which event you're doing, because one lap is very, very different from 2 laps, and I know it doesn't sound like it is, but it is.
And kind of going off of that, what made you want to do long distance versus sprinting?
I was a sprinter in high school, and I really liked that, but once I got some mileage under my belt, I realized that I can use my sprinting abilities at the end of my long races and kind of push and have an advantage over other people, which is really nice.
And what have you enjoyed the most about playing on being a part of the ASU track and field?
Probably all the advantages, like you get team dinners, and we have like team meetings every week, and we all catch up, because I don't get to see, the distance team doesn't get to see the sprinters that often, but every time we travel and stuff, we all really come together as one whole team. But probably just all the connections I've made and all the people I've met is my favorite thing. It's like the best thing ever.
And then being a D1 athlete, what does a typical day look like for you?
Just waking up really early, because you cannot run in the Arizona heat in the middle of the day. It's just awful. So we get up real early before it gets too hot, and then maybe hit some weights on Mondays and Wednesdays, and then that's about it. You just get your run over with in the morning, and then you have the rest of the day to yourself.
And typically you, I'm assuming, go to class in that time you're not running?
Yeah. Go to class, get some help from my academic advisor and the athletic facilities. Get some movies.
And what are throughout your career, what are some of your favorite events that you've been a part of so far?
Probably the meet in San Diego has been one of my favorites. And then the indoor track and field has been really fun, because it's so different from outdoor. So the track is cut in half. So you have to run more laps. So it's like mentally challenging, but it's so much more fun.
And as someone who started racing for the university later on and actually trying out rather than getting an offer, what advice would you give to some people who are interested not only in running cross country or track, but any sport in general?
I would just say have confidence. Like, if you want to do it, just do it. If it doesn't happen, then it's not meant to be. But I would say just have confidence walking into anything you do, because I was a little nervous when I tried out, but I'm so glad I did. And I pushed myself, and I was like, I got this. You got this.
And what are some of the skills that you've been able to learn when doing track and field for ASU?
I've learned a lot of, like, motivational skills. Just kind of like every morning when I get up, I'm like, oh, I'm so tired. But I'm like, you got to get out of bed, got to go to practice, all this stuff. Just, like, being very determined and hardworking is something that I've struggled with in the past. And, like, being on the team has taught me a lot of discipline, too.
Awesome. Well, Marin, thank you so much for joining us, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of your Earth Day.
Thank you so much for having me. You guys have a good one, too.
Nice job. Hannah, that was incredible. And that was the guest that you brought to the show, and she's a current Division I track and field athlete in Arizona State. She's a D1 athlete. I can't even imagine that when you asked her the question about the time commitment, what a typical day looks like, that's got to be – I'm surprised you even communicate with her fairly regularly because her time is occupied so much, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So anyway. But good stuff. So nice job on that. Guys, stick around on the show. We've got a lot coming up. Even though we're in our second hour, we're already more than, my gosh, almost 3/4 of the way through the show. So stick around and enjoy the rest of the show. We'll see you back here in a bit.
Hello, everyone, and happy Saturday. My name is Hannah Pettiferry, and you are listening to the Varsity Sports Show segment of the Tempe Sports Report. The Tempe Sports Report is sponsored by Angry Crab Shack of Tempe, located near the I-10 and Warner Road. This week, I had the opportunity to talk to Jocelyn Brisky, who is the pitcher for Desert Vista High School softball team. Jocelyn is committed to the University of Alabama and will be playing there very soon. Here's that interview with Jocelyn right now. What would you say is the most notable thing that has happened for you in softball throughout your high school years?
I'd say probably just the people that I've been able to meet and how different the high school experience is for softball rather than it is for club. It's more of a college type feel to it, practicing 6 days a week, always with your team and everything, and also going to school at the same time. The practices after school, it's just something different that I'm really glad that I was able to experience.
And then sort of piggybacking off of that, what aspect of the game have you most improved on throughout high school?
I'd say demeanor definitely being one, because we're playing more games more often and everyone's not going to be perfect all the time, and it's just holding my composure on the mound, knowing that errors are going to happen and everything's going to be okay. And then I'd also say it is an endurance as well, just from being a pitcher and having to pitch more than I usually do, and longer. I mean, we play about probably 35 games in a season just within the 3 months, and that's a lot for a pitcher's arm. So building up the stamina to be able to go and pitch long like that.
What piece of advice would you give to someone who wants to play softball in high school or college?
I would say just keep working, because there is a spot for everyone. D1 isn't always the answer. There's amazing NAIA, JUCOs, D3s, D2s, but there is a spot for everyone. There's hundreds of schools out there, and even if you don't make your varsity team in high school, just keep trying out each year and keep working, because you never know what could happen.
Awesome. Well, thank you.
Right, thank you.
Once again, that was Jocelyn Brisky, pitcher for Desert Mountain, and she will be continuing her softball career at the University of Alabama. Well, folks, that's all I have for the Tempe Sports Report for this week. Thank you for listening, and we will see you next week on the Varsity Sports Show. I hope you all have a good rest of your weekend, and this is Hannah signing off.
All right, everyone, and welcome back here to the Varsity Sports Show at the Garden of Tomorrow, and we're still here, and it's a very nice and starting to get sunny today, and it's just a great day to be out in nature and planting some plants, don't you think, Hannah?
Yeah, and as I'm sitting under the shade, the heat is picking up, I will say that for sure. And I have a part of me is half in the sun, half in the shade. So, wishing I put, and there's sunscreen right next to us.
Guys, I want to bring on the executive director of the Tiger Mountain Foundation. His name's, more importantly, he's an alum. He's a St. Mark's Elementary alum. One of my, he grew up with my older brother, but we were there at the same time. Darren Chapman, who's a legend. He's yeah, you are. Come on, you are. Look at all the good stuff you're doing out here. You're too humble. But anyway, so Darren Chapman is the executive director of Tiger Mountain Foundation, and he's just all around a great person. He's a humanitarian. He wouldn't say that, but but you're a good person. So Darren, tell us a little bit about the garden of tomorrow. We got a little bit of time here. You can talk about it.
Yeah, man, I'm just grateful. I grew up in this neighborhood, moved from South Central Los Angeles, and cut my teeth in social enterprise on the quote-unquote third highest murder capital block in the nation.
Look at all the mulberries.
We got beautiful mulberries. This is beautiful folks coming into the conversation.
Well, everybody's smiling here. I don't see a mad face here.
Yeah, without a doubt. My main man Jordan is here, and all the beautiful folks, man. Say hello to Television Land, y'all. All right. And Radio Land.
Yeah.
So, that's what it is. It's just you see the beautiful faces. You see the diversity. We wanted to do something very intentional around the narrative in our community, how we eat better, how we actually work better with one another, and how we take that into workforce development and other more positive narratives. So this is what you're looking at.
It's amazing. Darren, and we did our show actually a couple of years ago at the other location on Vineyard, which was quite an experience. We're out here today at the self-sustaining Garden of Tomorrow. You've got all these volunteers. You've got great people out here and a lot of good things going on. And we're just so grateful that you invited us back and gave us this opportunity to come out. I had a delicious burrito a minute ago.
Oh, man, I'm telling you, man. Chef Dana is here. Keosha Fresh Peak Drinks. We have different folks from the National Charity League, Bank of America. Man. True Leave is here and in the house, man. My main man, David. So great folks, man, coming in from all over metropolitan Phoenix.
We're going to do this again in the summer. I want to come back and see what else you got cooking. And more importantly, the reason why I say that is because I want to get some of those collard greens that you're growing out there, too. So anyway, that's between us. We'll have a conversation when we're done.
You got it, baby.
When we're off air. All right, guys, thanks again. And thanks so much to the executive director, Darren Chapman of the Tiger Mountain Foundation. We still got some show left, and we'll be joined in the next segment by our old friend Mike Beal with the Beachin' with Beal Southern California Surf Report. Dom, Hannah, you have had an opportunity to lay witness to the Southern California Surf Report. What are your impressions going in? What do you feel about it, Hannah? What do you think?
About the Southern California
Surf Report. Yeah, the Surf Report with Mike Beal.
I think it's interesting because everyone has a different opinion about beaches in California in general, but I feel Mike Beal has very good.
He's not a smart guy. You don't have to give him credit. So
Intel.
Intel. Okay. Dom, what about you? You're an Orange County guy.
Yeah, it's just a lot of fun to see two old comrades just lay into each other a little bit and have some fun.
All right, guys, when we come back from the break, stick around. Varsity Sports Show coming right back. Go Varsity.
Your morning drive just got a little better. The Dan Patrick Show is live weekday morning starting at 6 exclusively on KDUS AM 1060.
Coaches, the Varsity Sports Show wants to be part of your team in 2023. We have a proven track record of providing the most coverage of your teams with Thursday and Friday night football. We will spotlight your players with multi-camera game broadcasts, pre- and post-game interviews, and segments on our Saturday morning radio show. With over 100 games broadcast in 2022, we will be exceptional for your team. Call, text, or email 480-220-4629 or info@varsitysportshow.com. In 2019, the JV Sports Show podcast began with the idea of spotlighting young people in our community. In time, that podcast evolved into radio, television, and live stream, and through that evolution, new ideas have enhanced delivery, giving a stage to students both in front of and behind the microphone in Arizona and beyond. Thank you for supporting the Varsity Sports Show, now the Varsity Media Foundation, a 501c3 educational organization.
Hey everyone, my name is Eric Castellan, and thank you for tuning in to the Varsity Sports Show. I am currently a senior at Arizona State University, attending the Walter Cronkite School of Mass Communications and Journalism. I'm originally from California, but I moved to Arizona because of all the sports that are available out here, and I can't wait to bring you all the high school sports that we cover, whether you're listening or watching. Stay tuned.
Hey, Phoenix, Doug Gottlieb here. I'm bringing the best sports talk weekdays to you, 1 to 3 p.m., right here on KDUS AM 1060.
And now it's time for Beachin' with Beal. Random thoughts from a real Orange County, California surfer guy, Mike Beal. The opinions expressed during the segment in no way represent those of KDUS AM 1060 Arizona, the Varsity Sports Show, its host, or its listeners. Welcome back to the Varsity Sports Show on AM 1060 KDUS Arizona. Vince DeLisio out at the Garden of Tomorrow for the Tiger Mountain Foundation here at 1823 East Broadway in Phoenix, joined by my co-hosts this week, Hannah Pettiferry and Dom Hernandez. Dom, by the way, you're graduating. Congratulations to you. Hannah, you're not far behind. A lot of good things on the horizon. Coaches, the Varsity Sports Show wants to be part of your team in 2023. We have a proven track record of providing the most coverage of your teams with Thursday and Friday night football. We will spotlight your players with multi-camera game broadcasts, pre- and post-game interviews, and segments on our Saturday morning radio show. With over 100 games broadcast in 2022, we will be exceptional for your team. Call, text, or email 480-220-4629 or info@varsitysportshow.com. And now it's time for Beachin' with Beal. Random thoughts from a real Orange County, California surfer guy, Mike Beal. The opinions expressed during the segment in no way represent those of KDUS AM 1060 Arizona, the Varsity Sports Show, its host, or its listeners. All right, let's try that again. Guys, welcome to live radio. So, we're connected to a generator out here at the Garden of Tomorrow. We actually lost our Wi-Fi briefly, and I had this long, illustrious introduction introducing my good friend Mike Beal and how amazing his contributions to humanity have been in his Southern California Surf Report. Mike, are you there?
Vince, I am here. And happy Earth Day to you and to your producer, Aaron, for saving the day.
And you got Hannah and Dom here as well. Don't forget about them.
Hey, Hannah and Dom. How the heck are you guys?
Yeah, okay.
I'm good.
Yeah, Mike. You can call it Mike.
Good,
That's
Mike.
fine.
How are you?
Yeah. Okay.
I'm
Mike,
fantastic, thank you.
Yeah, what's going on in Southern California? This is the segment that everybody waits for. That's why we put it at the end of the show, because we don't want to lose any listeners early.
Well, we skipped spring and went directly into summer this weekend. It was a long, rainy, cold winter, and now it's a perfect, balmy 70 degrees. Sun's out. It's quite lovely. It's Hawaii style here today. I heard you guys complaining about the heat in Phoenix, so I thought I'd let everybody know that it's quite lovely here.
Yeah. So you've provided some entertainment and some education the last couple of years in doing this segment. What do you have for us today? Besides, talking a little bit about the weather being a little cooler, what lessons can you give us?
Well, I do have an educational story for our listeners today. A couple of weeks ago, despite you being the host of the show, an old friend of mine, Bo Davis, reached out and said he was tuning in. And he was talking about how much he loved the Surf Report. And it reminded me of early decades ago. I was surfing in South Mission off the jetty. And at the time, Bo was living with our other number one listener, Rob Maggs. Yeah. And anyway, so I'm out there. It breaks pretty far out in Mission Beach. And sometimes you see crazy things. Anyway, I paddled out, catch a couple waves. All of a sudden, right in front of me, probably like 10 feet away, staring at me in the face, what it looked like what appeared to be a chocolate Labrador. And it was terrifying. So
What?
Yeah, a chocolate lab way out in the middle of the ocean. I was horrified. I paddled straight in. Yeah. I was a little rattled. I told Bo and Rob Matt. Bo's mom was there.
You're not saying it's not that wasn't a metaphor for something else. It was an actual dog that was swimming in the middle of the ocean.
Well, as it would turn out, at that time, I wasn't familiar with all the creatures in the ocean. We don't get a lot here in Newport. They gravitate towards rocks, jetties, reefs. Turns out it was a sea lion, and they're relatively harmless. So, Rob and Bo and his mom got a very good laugh about that. And
Yeah.
at the time, though, however, you could actually drink beer on the beach in Mission, and
Yeah.
Bo and Rob had a good supply going, so they calmed me down and saved the day. So there you have it.
Mike, have you ever gotten rolled on the beach as a result of maybe putting down one or two too many beers?
I'm sorry, you cut out again.
I said, have you ever gotten rolled on the beach as a result of putting down too many beers?
Nah, Vince, you're the only one that gets sand kicked in his face, not me.
Okay, that's good. That's funny. Yeah, that's good. What are some things going on out there? Are there any events going on in celebration of Earth Day on the beach today?
I'm sure there's the usual.
You didn't do any
massive
research for
cleanups.
the segment, did you?
What research? Come
Yeah.
on. No, it's usually a massive beach cleanup
Okay.
for the most part for Earth Day here.
Do people come by and like pick up all your trash when you're done?
Oh, Vince, I remember it just seems like yesterday you were picking up trash as part of a punishment on the side of the highway back when we were, I think, in college.
So Hannah and Dom, being ASU students, they're familiar with social life, Greek life, things like that. What was the name of your fraternity again, Mike? Lambda. What was it?
Yeah, we were the Tri-Lambs. No, it was Theta Delta Chi.
Yeah, they got kicked off campus. It
ended in a blaze of glory. But
yeah,
it was fun while it lasted.
Yeah,
I remember when Vince and I were back in college, he would just come over to the frat house.
Yeah.
Drooling, like, oh my God.
Yeah.
This is really happening to me.
I was shocked.
Hannah, Dom, you guys got to understand, when Vince was younger, he didn't have a lot of friends besides me. And I was like a border.
Yeah, all right, so I'm going to end the segment right there. So anyway, Mike, thanks so much for joining us on the Varsity Sports Show. We are, in fact, out of time, so I apologize. Sorry about the technical difficulties early. I want to take it in studio to my old friend Ed Smith, Easy Sports, Ed and Javon. Coach Smith, what do you got going on today?
Hey, Coach, as always, great show by yourself. We got a bunch of stuff, man. We got Phoenix Suns in the playoffs here. We got the Eastern Conference playoffs to catch up with. Got some baseball. The Diamondbacks seem to be doing their thing out there, as well as some news around the NFL with some of these suspensions, et cetera, and Cardinals. So we got a great show lined up, man. As always, appreciate all you do in front of us, and great show as always, man.
Thank you so much, Coach. Ed Smith, Javon Adams, listen to them from 10 to 12. It's where I cut my teeth. Dom, Hannah, take us out.
Follow our Twitter at Varsity Show to stay up to date on all of our broadcasting content. Next up, join Coach Ed Smith and Javon Adams with the EZ Sports Radio Show from 10 to 12. Thanks to our producer in studio, Aaron Decker, and thanks for listening to the Varsity Sports Show. See you next week. Go Varsity.
Go Varsity, guys. Talk to you next week. Thank you for listening to the Varsity Sports Show, where our mission is to empower education and enable dreams, creating an unmatched platform to showcase talent both in front of and behind the microphone in radio, television, podcast, and live streaming. The Varsity Sports Show, still your home for youth, high school, college, and you in Arizona and beyond.